good evening. Honorable Ntuli, good evening. Honorable Ngola, good evening.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening.
Good evening, Honorable Sokanyile. Honorable Nomvalo, good evening. Honorable Skosana, good evening. Good evening, Honorable Shongwe. Good evening, Honorable Breitenbach.
Good evening, Chairperson. I've joined. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to stay connected. I'm in Istanbul, and I'll make an apology also for Honourable Kyle Barnard. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. You must greet them in Istanbul. Good evening, Honorable Cameron.
Good evening, Chair.
Good evening, Honorable Klauper.
Good evening, Chairman.
Honorable Malema, good evening. Honorable Mattheys, good evening.
Good evening, Chair.
Honorable Bangazita, good evening. Good evening, Honorable Sols. Honorable James, good evening.
Chairperson, sorry, I lost signal. I am present. Good evening.
Good evening, Honorable Vessels. Good evening, Advocate Aremse. Good evening, Advocate Mkhwanazi. Good evening, Advocate Mkhize. Good evening, Mr. Andile Techana. Good evening, Mr. Bonani Rahman.
Good evening, Chairperson. Mr. Ramano will be joining us a little bit later. Thank you, Chair.
Good evening, Ms. Nicolette van Zyl.
Good evening, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members.
Good evening, Dr. Tuli.
Good evening, Chairperson and members. Thank you.
Good evening, Baba Alwa.
Good evening, Chair and members and colleagues.
Good evening, Pilot.
Good evening, Chairperson. Good evening, honorable members. Thank you.
Is there anybody that we have not greeted?
You have not greeted me, Chair. Kusela.
Oh, we started with you, for sure you were not there, because it's only the three honorable members from the DA and the Chief Whip, and Honorable Mattheys and Honorable Vessels who responded. I'm not sure if the meeting has a quorum.
Good afternoon or good day, Chairperson.
Yeah, we now have a quorum. We now have a quorum. Good evening, Mr. Manda David, Honorable Skosana Jali.
Ngiyanilotshisa nesitshaba sekhethu ngidilotshane.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nesia, good evening. Good evening to the staff of political parties in Parliament. Can I check if we have apologies? Honorable Sangoni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Good evening to you and good evening to all members and staff present. Chair, we have an apology from the Chief Whip. He is going to join us late. And Honorable Sokanyile is on a flight to Durban for a oversight visit, so she'll join on landing. I'm also on oversight chair and traveling in Limpopo in case my network is problematic. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay. Honorable Skosana, apologies.
Apologies is Honorable Nomvalo and Honorable Shongwe. They are still busy with some organizational work. Thank you.
Honorable Breitenbach has given us the apology of Honorable Kola Barnett and herself. She's relying on the network that is using in case she's in and out of the meeting. She has alerted us that we must bear with her in case there are technical glitches. Honorable Matthews.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Malembo will join us as soon as he concludes the meeting, the preparations meeting that we have for the organization. Thank you.
Okay. Did we receive apologies from Honorable Mwango and Honorable Sols and Honorable James?
No, Chairperson, maybe they'll join us a bit later.
Okay. Do you have any apology, Honorable Vessels?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. If we're not done by 7 o'clock, if I please may be excused then, I have an organizational meeting which I'm the chair of. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Honorable members, there are reports from the Secretariat of the committee, and we also received a report this afternoon about 40 minutes ago or 45 minutes ago from the evidence leaders. I'm not sure if they have joined us in the meeting. We will look at those reports and I will propose how I think the meeting should deal with the reports. And then we have two items, letters from Advocate Mkhwanazi Ad Foundation, and the other one is from the lawyers of Ms. Sarah Jane Trent. I think the legal team of Parliament, Mr. Dejana, will present that together with the proposal on how the report that we have been promised by the minister will be viewed by the members of the committee. First of all, let me take this opportunity and thank you, members, for making yourself available. I think you had enough time to rest. You must have re-energized. And I'm conscious of the fact that most of the members are out on oversight committee work as well as constituency work. That is why we may not have to keep this meeting for long. I want to thank Nicolette and the team for the brilliant work that has been done in making sure that the reports are available. She must have worked under very tremendous pressure to have the report ready before the 30th of April. We want to thank you so much, Nicolette. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed, and keep it up. Mr. Tejana, for the work, the legal support that he has given to the committee until we find ourselves where we are today. The support team of our committee, I also want to thank you for the support that you have given us. We would not have been here if it was not for your coordination and your planning. Thank you so much to the Office of the House Chair, Honorable Frolik, and the Office of the Speaker for the support. Honorable members, we were going to formally launch the draft report in this meeting today. And the proposal from the chairperson is that let's launch this report formally in this meeting today, and members can indicate how much time they need to go and study the reports, and how much time do they need to make submissions on the report, so that once Nicolette receives the input of the members, she can integrate those inputs into the final draft, which we will agree on the day that she will come and make a presentation. For now, I'm going to give her an opportunity to just take us through the highlights of the report, so that when we go to study it, we would have been alerted to some of the key areas that we need to pay attention. And then with the legal team, they submitted the report, but the information that came with the report is that the report is not complete. And I had thought that they will join us to indicate the work, the amount of time that they will still need to conclude the report. And the committee can make a decision if there is any proposal that the legal team wants to make with their report. But the long and short of it is that the report of the legal team is not complete. And then the report of the minister, members will propose when the committee can be available to go and view the report. And the other two correspondences that we received, the legal team will make a presentation and then advise on how they think the matters can be dealt with. And then the last would be that the letter which the speaker had given us was up until the end of the 30th of April. And because the committee is meeting today, the committee can also advise that we write back to the speaker. And the reason why this is the last item is because when the committee would have deliberated on the time frames, it can be in a position to advise the speaker when it thinks it can be ready with the report. So we are going to take those items in that manner, but even before we allow Nicolette to take us through the highlights, I will want to check with the members if there are any items that they want to propose for inclusion in the agenda. I'm not seeing any hand. I assume that the committee agrees with the agenda. And then I have also made proposal on how I think we should launch the report and allow members to go and study them. Can I check if there is anybody who has a different view to the proposal?
But I've missed a better part because of the network. I'm not sure. Maybe if you can summarize, Chair, sorry.
Yeah. What I'm saying, Jali, is that today, let us formally launch the reports in the committee meeting. And then the members of the committee can indicate how much time do they need to go and study these reports and also make submissions to Ms. Van Zyl. And once she receives the inputs of committee members and their submissions, she can then integrate that into a final draft. And then we can agree on the day that we will meet to consider that final draft, which will be incorporating the submissions members would have made. Does it make sense, Honorable Kosan?
Yes, it makes sense. I support. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. And then with regard to the report of the legal team, I indicated that they have made a submission. The report is not complete. And I see Honorable Advocate Arendse is here. They can make an indication to the committee how much more time do they need to conclude the report. Advocate Arendse, welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Chair, Honorable members of the committee and my colleagues. I think they may not be on because they are busy with other work. And apologies for joining late. I was waiting to be admitted. Anyway, I'm in the meeting, so pleased to be in the meeting. Honorable Chair, honorable members, I think through your PA you had requested a few days ago an indication of when a report or a draft report at least would be submitted to the committee for consideration. I delayed responding because we've been frantically busy trying to put together the report. Logistically, of course, it's not easy. We have read most of the transcripts, statements, and the attached exhibits to those statements of the key witnesses, and to the extent that we have received those transcripts. Of course, there are some witnesses, for example, like O'Sullivan, McBride. We haven't received those transcripts yet. And the importance of that is to verify what's in the evidence, and especially, of course, a large chunk of it concerns important questions asked by honourable committee members to these witnesses, and the answers they give. They wouldn't be reflected in the statements and the attached exhibits. So that's important. We have put together a draft which is incomplete, which was sent late this afternoon to Andile and Bonani, which deals with it concerns mainly the evidence of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. Last year, he was the first witness, the first 2 days. And it deals mainly with political interference, the PKTT, and procurement irregularities, the evidence of General Dimpani, who's now the acting National Commissioner, and General Fani. The other summaries we have done, I mean, we could have given to you today a document of over 400 or 500 pages, because they contain just the summaries of what we've been working through as evidence leaders. But the more important work is to put these summaries, or the relevant parts of these summaries, under the different topics that align with the terms of reference. So that requires alignment, integration, and of course discussion amongst the evidence leaders. So yes, it has been time consuming, Honourable Chair, honourable members. And if we apologize if there's any inconvenience that has been caused. Let me not go into other more domestic issues. We would have a draft report ready in a week's time. And again, provided, and I see the transcripts have been coming in thick and fast from Vonani, and hopefully, I think it's now sort of hit the 90% mark, and hopefully those transcripts will all come in, certainly by the end of this week. It is a long weekend, and then we will provide you with a draft a week from today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Advocate Arendse. I did not hear the last part on the amount of time that you may need to release the final draft.
Chair, I said in a week's time, and given that there are quite a few public holidays and long weekends,
Yeah.
Perhaps by end next week, which coincidentally, you may recall, was an original proposal that was put forward by Andile on behalf of the team.
Yeah. Okay. And then you also want to suggest that you can come and take us through the overview once the final draft is released.
Yeah, once the final draft is released, we will do an overview. Clearly, the honourable members will require also a good couple of days, if not themselves a week, to wade through all the reports. Nicolette and her team's report is also quite substantial. We need to, in discussion with them, obviously we will need to integrate our report with theirs to give us one substantial report, and that's going to be a substantial document, Chair. So once we submit our draft report by end next week, I would suggest that perhaps the committee decides to set aside their own time to peruse and to consider the report and obviously make their own comments and adjustments and etc. And then we could present, or if you choose, we could do a presentation by the end of next week. And
yeah, I think what will be ideal will be that once the final draft is ready, we formally receive it in the meeting, and then like what we are requesting Nicolette to do today, just to take us through the highlights of the report, so that when committee members go to study it, you would have raised those matters which you think are salient in the report.
Yeah, I actually think that's a better idea.
Yeah,
and also to help to guide the committee through the report.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously a lot of detail, a lot of footnotes, because we all talk about the integrity of the report, so lots of footnotes which is references to sworn statements, to sworn oral evidence, to exhibits, other witnesses, evidence, exhibit statements. So there's a lot of, and that is of course what takes time for us and even for Nicolette and her team, is the cross-referencing to ensure that this document that will become part of the parliamentary record for posterity must be a proper and a fair reflection of the deliberations that took place in this committee.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Advocate Arendse. I think the members have heard you. We are now going to allow Nicolette to also take us through the highlights of the draft that we circulated, and then we will take discussions hereafter. Thank you so much. Ms. Van Zyl.
Good evening again, Chairperson and honourable members. Ms. Christine Silkstone is actually leading the drafting of the report, so I will just hand over to her to highlight the salient issues in the report. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. How much time do you need to take us through those highlights?
Chair, maybe Christine can come in. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thank you so much. You can hand over to her.
Sorry, Chairperson. I'm just trying to I'm trying to figure out how to share and speak at the same time. I don't know why it's causing a problem for me. Let me just do this now. Okay, share. Oh, just give me 2 seconds. Okay. Oh, that's not what I want to share. Sorry. I had the document, and of course, as these things happen, you always end up losing what you're looking for. It is a recent document. Ah. Okay. So sorry, I was trying to get it onto a slideshow, and I know this is probably a little bit small. Oh, set up slides. Okay. Okay, from beginning, sorry. So it's just really a very quick overview of the preliminary report. Yeah. So just to put it in context, we finished our evidence gathering stage, and now we must go, our next step will be to assess the evidence before it, our deliberations, and from that the committee makes its findings and recommendations. Broadly, the structure of the draft report is, broadly has 3 parts. The first part is largely descriptive of the process that the committee has followed, and the evidence presented to the committee. And then the second part is evaluative, in which we analyze and assess the evidence that is placed before the committee. And then the third part is your deliberative process, which contains outcomes of your discussions. So those are your findings and your recommendations. So the proposed structure in terms of Part A is, this is again preliminary. We'll have our introduction, our background, our membership. Those are kind of standard. your mandate and terms of reference, the legal framework, the methodology, the limitations, the parallel processes, that will be your Madlanga Commission, interlocutory matters, those are, the legal opinions and so on that were received, public participation, witnesses appearing before the committee, so it lists our witnesses, and then the evidentiary overview on, I've actually thought, well, after listening to Advocate Arendse now, that we probably would have evidentiary highlights in the main body of the report. Then parts B and C will be your analysis and assessment of evidence. That's basically your bridge between your description of your evidence and your findings. Then your findings, recommendations, including referrals and follow-ups, acknowledgements, and their annexures. So the annexures we'll need to consider to see what would go there, but it would definitely be things like your terms of reference, possibly some of the opinions that we received, and then between whatever the committee decides, we can decide that maybe part of the evidentiary overview would better fit as an annexure, and that we just contain highlights within the report for ease of reading. Yeah, those are just really, then the next thing is just my thoughts, that the structure of a report will sometimes need to be adjusted as the process of a report writing unfolds, but the overall part should remain more or less the same, even if the headings change and or content is moved, amended or removed. As Advocate Arendse has said, Council's report will also need to be integrated into the main report, and that will require us working together. And yes, to note that the committee hasn't considered the evidence, and this will impact not only on the content, but also the way the report is structured. And then, yeah, I just I think the chair has actually answered that, because it seems to me, I think maybe you can confirm that whether we can go ahead and draft the findings, a draft preliminary findings and recommendations. And I want to stress here that those would be of a technical nature, not anything that would encroach into the committee's terrain, but those would just be as suggestions to guide the committee's deliberations. Thank you. That's just the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much. Is that Ms. Silkstone?
Yes, Chair, it's Ms. Silkstone.
Good evening to you, and thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
There were two reports that were released. I think the other one was trying to help members to have an understanding of the whole proceedings and the presentations that were made, how they interact with evidence. Do you think what you have presented here covers both of the reports?
Chairperson, that refers to a discussion document that was prepared by our researchers and Nicolette, and that is intended to guide the deliberations, the committee's deliberations. And yes, those will actually form part of the end report, but they're not contained within the report at this stage. So they're not in a report like what we would regard as a report. They're not presented as reported findings or anything like that, but they would definitely inform discussions. So it's more of a briefing document than as a formal report.
Yeah, that is exactly the point that I wanted you to make in this meeting, for members to understand that you are not presenting two reports. There is the report that you are presenting, but there is also like what you call briefing notes, or a guide some kind of a framework that members can look at when they deliberate in on the reports. They can always make reference to those notes that are made in that guide. Honorable members, you have heard what Advocate Arendse has said and what Ms. Van Zyl and Silkstone have presented here. I want to thank them on your behalf for the presentations that they made before this meeting. I'm now going to circulate to hear what the views of the members are. Advocate Arendse has requested that we give them a week. They should be done with the report, and maybe something that we may have to clarify with him when he says a week. Does he mean the 8th of May or does he mean next week Wednesday? A week, Advocate Arendse, what is the last day that we can expect you to release the draft?
Chair, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I was
when you say a week, I was asking, do you mean the 8th of May or
yeah, some of my colleagues have just nudged me and said it's the better date is the 8th of May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the day on which the final draft will be ready. And once we have that final draft, we will then call a committee meeting for the presentation of the overview. And Nicolette and Ms. Van Zyl and Ms. Silkstone have made presentations here. So the suggestion is that members must indicate how much time they will need to go through the reports. And maybe we must also agree on the last day of submission of inputs from members so that when we come to the next meeting, we should come with a final draft that incorporates all the inputs that members would have made. I'm circulating for deliberations by members. I'm starting with the African National Congress. Honorable Sangoni.
Thank you very much, Chair. And let me echo your appreciation to all the colleagues who would have worked on the reports. I don't think that any of us were ever in doubt that it would take an inordinate amount of time. So we truly appreciate the effort that they have put in there. Just on a lighter note, Chair, I think don't refer to this report as a final draft. I have a sense that there will be a number of drafts before we get to final. As the ANC Chair, we have no problem acceding to the request for Advocate Arendse and his team to revert back to us on the 8th of May. We would obviously want to propose that members then do be given another week, perhaps to if my maths is correct now, to the 15th of May for submissions, and then we then discuss that draft after. We have noted and we have gone through the draft report that Ms. Van Zyl and her team would have presented, which I think, as was said to us just now, is largely narrative and descriptive in nature. So we support that recommendation. You also asked earlier, Chair, about the end date. Now, we can't lie, we're obviously very disappointed we would have hoped that we wrap up this process, at the very latest by around the 15th of May. But given the challenges that are clearly evident, we may want to then write to the Speaker and perhaps request at the very latest, either the end of May or the first week or two in June. Advocate Aaron says, tongue-in-cheek, that ironically these are the dates that they had initially wanted, but I don't think we could be crucified for trying, to get it completed as soon as possible. I don't think it's in anybody's interest that it goes on in audit for a very long time. But we support the recommendations, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. When I said the final draft, I meant the draft that we will take to our meetings for deliberations.
Noted. Thanks, Chair.
Yeah, but I think you are right, so that we are one in terms of understanding that I'm not saying this is the last report. I mean, I wanted to say that it must be the draft that includes all the inputs of members, and members must be ready to make inputs before the dates that you suggest, so that when we go to deliberations, we don't have any of us saying, I was never given a chance to make my submissions, or my submissions are not there. Can I check if we have another speaker from the African National Congress? Okay, thank you so much. Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. I think the issue of an extension is now inevitable, as some of us said that. It's unfortunate that perhaps because of the lack of resources, we did not have enough staff, in terms of admin to deal with matters. Now the date which we set as well, it's impossible for us to meet the deadline. But hence, as well, as I said in one of our meetings, that we've only scratched the surface. You can imagine if we have dealt with the matters of correctional service and the judiciary, it could have been worse. We'll have waited until I don't know when. But I hope that we will, again, Chair, have an ad hoc committee before the end of the year, because really what we are getting outside, and our people will be disappointed as well about our extensions. But indeed, it's humanly impossible for them to finish this report. I'm not defending them, but I'm saying we are disappointed that we are unable to finish this draft as well. From their side, giving to us for us to peruse, and make some inputs, as you said, that we might now have to look at that draft anyway for us to satisfy ourselves. But indeed, we cannot disagree, Chair. I agree that let's give them that extension. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Breitenbach.
Thank you, Chair. We agree with the proposals for the dates. Thank you.
Honorable Matthys, or can I check if before do we have a second speaker from the DA?
The DA speaks with one voice, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Matthys.
Thank you, Chair. We support the proposal. I do think it's going to be difficult for us to say how much time we are going to need to go through it and give our and give our inputs or our submissions in that regard. I don't know if a week is going to be will be sufficient, so it will depend on the amount of or the amount of pages, or actually what it is that we receive, to be able to make a more informed decision. But for now, I think we can we can say a week, just so we can have some ballpark figure in regards to that. Chair, I do want to raise this again. I know that we are like a dripping tank in this committee about resources. And it cannot be that we have 3 evidence leaders that is doing this report. And this is the reason why we are here today, that we got a report at 4:15 that was incomplete. It's not humanly possible, and it's not going to be possible for us to do our work properly. So I am going to request, Chair, that we ask the Speaker to at least unleash additional resources to be able to assist these evidence leaders so they can do their jobs properly. That is too much work for them to go through. I also, Chair, would like an explanation on why is it that they have not received, it's been feels like it's been 3 months actually, but it's probably less, that they haven't even received transcripts. Like, what's the hold up with that? And what's interesting here is that there's no transcripts for Paul O'Sullivan and McBride, which is making us very suspicious. So can we get like what's going on behind the scenes, that there are no transcripts? And it's been like a whole month or 2 months. It's a resource issue. Like, what exactly is going on? We cannot be in the state continuously. Now we just want to close. We're going into a different period, all of us as political parties. So I'm pleading with the committee and with you, Chair, in particular, that we go to the Speaker and we request that this committee just be properly, adequately resourced. This is also going to help us to be able to close, and we don't have this always asking for extensions. And I'm going to raise it one more time. It is not possible for 3 evidence leaders to conclude this report. So they are going to need more assistance. And that's our input as the EFF. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Chairperson. No, I support the proposals and the proposed dates. I think the delay is and was predictable, and let's agree that this is the best way forward, and I also agree that it's not humanly possible. But a lot of good work has been done, and as you in the beginning did, I also want to thank the support staff who actually did the impossible to already have a draft, and also to the evidence leaders who went above and beyond to get something on the table. And if we stick to these dates, I think we will be able to meet these deadlines and produce a report that will lead to good results. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Ken. Can I check if we have honorable members who would have joined us after we have started and they want to speak? Honorable Mwango, has he joined? Honorable Sols, Honorable James. If any of you or any of them would have joined. Okay. Can we get an explanation from the part of the administration on why there are transcripts which are still outstanding, Dr. Atwell?
Good afternoon, good evening, Chairperson and members. Chair, we had a service provider, one service provider, and to do the work, and they were not producing the transcripts at the pace that we required. And that caused us to actually look at the second service provider. And that is the reason that Advocate Arends has been receiving a lot of transcripts lately. I must say that they are very quick now with the production of those transcripts. And If I'm not mistaken, there is just one transcript that is outstanding at this point in time. That is mainly the reason, Chair. But we have managed to get a second service provider via the SCM process of Parliament. Thank you.
You say now there is only one transcript outstanding.
Yes, there is only one, that is for the 5th of March. Thank you, Chair.
So the rest of the transcripts are out.
Yes, Chairperson. Thank you.
Except that one only.
Except for that one only, Chair.
And when are we getting it?
They promised to give it to us before the end of this week. So this week is a short week, so we are expecting it either tomorrow or Thursday. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, if we don't get it, you must let us know. Because I
Okay.
think we discussed this matter for a very long time. We cannot come back to discuss it again. If we don't have that transcript by the end of this week, we should know that it is not up.
Okay, Chair. Certainly we will have it.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairperson.
So, honorable members, we agree that the deadline for submissions will be the 15th of May. That is what I heard you say, that you support. And that the evidence leaders will release the draft report, the draft evidentiary overview by the 8th of, the latest day will be the 8th of May. Honorable Matthys,
Yes. Yes, Chair.
Yeah, let's come to the issue of support for the evidence leaders. Can we hear from them what is the form of support that they will need?
Honorable Chair, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. It's a request I made a few meetings, or at the last meeting, which I do recall being supported by Honorable Sangoni, which is to secure the assistance of Advocate Lerato Sikalala, who was on our team until the end of last year when we were at Kgosi Mampuru. She's intimately involved with all the witnesses up until that point, including Matlala's. It would help us greatly if that arrangement could be formalized, and if an instruction could come through to the State Attorney from the Speaker's office via Andile, I think it would help us tremendously. It would be problematic to secure the services of any other advocate at this late stage. I think it will take a lot longer. I think fortunately, as all of you would expect, we're familiar with the evidence. It's nothing new that we're going to read, and to the extent that Advocate Sikalala is familiar with the evidence up until the end of November, I think last year, that could give us great relief. And I welcome the support that that Honorable Matthys always refers to. But I think in this case, it's now no longer forensic or investigative support. It is support in terms of getting the report out. And I think, if I may say so, Advocate Sikalala would be ideal support for us. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Tejana.
Good evening, Chairperson. Good evening, honorable members, and to my colleagues as well. Chairperson, as I always say, the client of council is the committee. So once the committee says this is where we should go, that's exactly what we should do. So all I'm saying, Chairperson, is that we're in your hands. We're in the hands of the committee. The committee is the client. And of course, if the committee sees it fit to rope in Advocate Sikalala, as council has proposed, we can't be opposed, to that. Yeah. But of course, Chairperson, with the internal bureaucracy of the institution, one would have to, write a memo to the speaker requesting a political authorization, and then after that, another memo to the secretary to parliament requesting a financial authorization, and then after that, of course, would have to write to the state attorney. And I'm assuming that the reason why council is raising the name of Advocate Sikalala, I'm assuming that Advocate Sikalala is available. So that's the process, Chairperson, which of course, given that this is a short week, I think it can only be finalized next week.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you so much. Your comment, Honorable Matthys. Okay, we will do it that way, Mr. Tejana. Let's further process it outside the meeting. Can we then move to? Okay.
Okay, Chairperson. Sorry, Chairperson, for
no, there is
patching
no
in this
problem.
way.
There
Yes.
is no problem.
Yes, I also thought, Chair, that because we had touched on the issue of an extension, and I think Honorable Sanguni, touched on it, even though she was not decisive as she usually is. Just to say, because look, if we don't attend to that, what it means is that on Thursday, the lifespan of this committee will come to an end, and the committee will lapse, and then we can revive it when there's gonna be a sitting of the House. So I'm just saying, Chairperson, can we tie that loose end nicely to say what is the instruction regarding a request for an extension? Thanks, Chair.
Yeah, it was the last item on the agenda, but members have already endorsed it that we can run until the end of May or the first or second week of June. Does it help you to write the submission?
Are you talking, Chair, in relation to requesting an extension or in relation to the political and financial authorizations which must be addressed to the Speaker and the STP?
I mean for the extension.
No, Chairperson, we're in your hands. If the committee says end of May, end of June, we will do exactly as the committee wishes, Chairperson.
Okay. Thank you so much. We will write that submission and indicate the permutations that are there. We have not gone into the deliberations of the report, but we hope to start once the reports are available. We'll take it as and when we go, but somewhere around that time of the first or second week of June, which should be concluding the work of the committee. Can I get your presentation, Mr. Tejan, on the 3 items?
Yes, Chairperson. Chairperson, perhaps let me start with the last one, which is the IGI report. Chair, you will recall that we've been in constant contact with the minister via correspondence regarding this. And the minister was never, in principle, Chair, opposed to this committee viewing this report, of course, in line with the protocol on handling and viewing of classified information by the National Assembly. So what we did this morning, Chairperson, we wrote to Mr. Klaso, who is the Secretary to the National Assembly, because we wanted to find out certain details regarding, for instance, the date of the viewing of this report, the venue at which this report will be viewed, whether the necessary arrangements have been made with the Sergeant at Arms and SEPs. And we got a response, Chairperson, just at 3 minutes to 5. In other words, 3 minutes before this meeting could start. And Mr. Klaso is saying the reason why we're writing to him, because we were aware that the report is in Parliament already. The minister had sent the report to Parliament, and the report was sent to the Speaker. And the reason why the report was sent to the Speaker, Chair, is because if you read the protocol itself, you will see that the protocol says that the Speaker of the National Assembly exercises overall custodianship of classified or confidential information within Parliament. But Mr. Klaso seems to be saying in his correspondence that the Speaker wrote back to the Minister, in actual fact, returning the report to the Minister. And the reason for that, it seems as if there was no communication between yourself and the Speaker. So, Chairperson, we would urge you, as the administration, to establish contact with the Speaker to clear whatever miscommunications that might have happened in that regard. So, Chairperson, that's where we are in relation to the IGI report. We had hoped that by today we would give members the date of viewing, the venue, this and that. And of course, the correspondence we received at 3 minutes to 5 seems to be saying that the chair must communicate with the Speaker. And perhaps, of course, that would involve the acting minister as well. So, Chairperson, that is dispositive of the IGI report issue. And then, Chairperson, I will move to the issue of one public participant who appeared before the committee on the 3rd of February 2026, Mr. Philasande Tokeni. Now, Chairperson, we received a letter on the 1st of April 2026 from the Busisiwe Mkhwanazi Foundation. At the heart of the letter, Chairperson, or of the submission by the Busisiwe Mkhwanazi Foundation, is that Lieutenant General Sindile Mfazi was poisoned by the people within SAPS. And of course, this is what was relayed to the committee by Mr. Tokeni. And that, contrary to popular belief, his death was not as a result of a COVID-19 related illness or condition. The Busisiwe Mkhwanazi Foundation submits that the committee made a solemn commitment to receive in-camera evidence from Mr. Tokeni, and that evidence relates directly to the murder of Lieutenant General Mfazi and the subsequent suppression of his investigative files. So, Chairperson, the letter puts the committee on demand, and that is clearly spelled out in paragraph 7 of the correspondence under review. Chairperson, we shall be guided by the committee on how we move forward, bearing in mind that the Rule 167F of the Assembly Rules provides that a portfolio committee determines its own working arrangement. So, Chairperson, here, the foundation seems to be saying that there were promises of an in-camera session with Mr. Tokeni, and of course, that has not taken place. And I think what they are saying, Chairperson, is that the committee, and of course, this is what members will guide us on, needs to facilitate that process, Chairperson. Now, the last one, Chairperson, which is the issue of Ms. Sarah Jane Trent. You will recall that, Chairperson, she wrote to the committee on the 23rd of April. And she was making an application, Chairperson, for her evidence, which she adduced on the 5th of March 2026 to be declared pro-non-script, in other words, to be expunged from the evidentiary record. And you will recall, Chair, that in that letter of the 23rd, she had indicated that she is still waiting for a forensic psychological evaluation report. And I'm told, Chairperson, I'm advised that that report has since been sent to you. And of course, it's a confidential report. And as you know, Chairperson, that the rules of the Assembly permit, a committee to convene in terms of 186. It speaks about the exclusion of members of the public from meetings, including the media. So, Chairperson would suggest that that's how the committee should have sight of this clinical and forensic psychological report. Chairperson, we'll leave it there for the committee to deliberate on those three. Thanks, Chairperson.
So what is your suggestion on the last matter?
Yeah, what we suggest, Chairperson, as per the rules, because you will agree, Chair, that what is contained in this report, Chair, implicates the privacy rights of the subject of Miss Trent. And of course, I think the manner in which the report must be viewed, it must be an in-person meeting, Chairperson. And such a process should mirror what is reflected, Chairperson, in the protocol. So that's what we're suggesting, Chairperson. And of course, after having sight of it, the committee can make its own determination. Thanks, Chair.
And where is that report?
I'm told that the report is with you, Chairperson, Advocate Nomaan and Mr. Rahman. It was sent to the three of you under very strict conditions, Chairperson, because if you read the covering letter, that's exactly what it says.
But if that report has to be viewed under strict conditions, why do they send it to us? Because they must come with a report and present it.
You say, Chairperson, why is it sent to you?
If the report leaks,
yes,
who will they blame? Because they are the ones who send the report. Because if they think the report is confidential, they could have requested for a meeting to say, we are having this report. We want to present it ourselves. You can't say something is confidential, but you want to delegate it to the second person to take responsibility for the safekeeping of that report. There is nobody who's going to allow them to send us that report if they think it's confidential.
Look, Chairperson, under normal circumstances, when you deal with confidential information, and this was going to be the case with the IGI report, Chairperson, there's a particular venue where the committee, would convene. And of course, at the door, you would have envelopes with members' names, which is where they should put their gadgets. I'm just making an example, Chairperson. There will be a register to say that, okay, you've got 11 members of the committee. Honorable Mates is the first. I'm just making an example, Chairperson. She signs in, she sits down, depending on the volume of the report. If it's a 5-pager, and of course the view is that you can view that within 20 minutes. And then after that 20 minutes, Chairperson, she leaves, she signs out, and in certain instances, I mean, a document is shredded. So those are the strict, that's a strict way, Chairperson, of ensuring that, at least from our side, we can satisfy ourselves that we tried our level best to prevent leaks.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Mr. Tejana, we are Parliament. There is no ordinary citizen, or not even, there is no citizen who can write to us and say, I'm sending you a report, and this is what you are going to do with the report. If it leaks, you will know me. We can't accept that. If the citizen has a report that they want to present us, they must also take responsibility for the safekeeping of that report. They could have written to the committee and say, we request you to convene a meeting because we think we have this confidential report that we want to present before you. But to say, no, we will send you a report and the report must not leak. We want you to do this and that with the report. So it means if it leaks, a committee of Parliament or Parliament must be held responsible for somebody's report. Why do they want to impose obligations on us on their own report, which they claim to be confidential? I'm just saying, look at it from a legal point of view. I don't think that we are difficult personalities where if they had requested for a meeting to say, no, we request you to call a meeting, we want to share this report with you, we can send it electronically for the following reasons. But for them to say, no, we will send you, but it comes with obligations, and you are going to comply, or else. Okay. So the speaker has not been formally informed about the report of the IGI.
Remember, Chair, in terms of the protocol, information like that is sent to the speaker, which is exactly what happened. But then the speaker wrote back to the minister and saying, look, he has to take the report and of course, what Mr. Klaso is saying, that there was no communication between the two of you. I mean, between yourself, the speaker, and the chair of the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence.
So who must write that letter? Is it the Joint Standing Intelligence or who?
No, Mr. Klaso seems to be saying, Chair, that there was no communication between you, the speaker, because I don't know where the Joint Standing Committee comes in, Chairperson, but because we had communicated with the minister was not opposed to giving the committee the report. And of course, the minister had said, as long as it is viewed, I mean, in line with the protocol, which of course we had committed to, the minister sent the report to the speaker, which is where the report should have been sent at any rate. But then the speaker returned it to the minister. And of course, Mr. Klaso is saying there was no communication between yourself and the speaker. So that's why I'm saying, Chair, I think as the administration, we'll leave it in your hands. Yeah.
Because we informed the minister about the decision of the committee.
Yes, we did, Chair.
So the minister, when the report was sent to the speaker, there was no covering letter.
I don't know, Chairperson.
Okay. So the proposal now is that we must formally write a letter to the Speaker to inform her about the committee decision. And
I think you need to talk to the Speaker, Chair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair, I've raised my hand, Chair, if you can recognize me.
Yeah, I want to rotate. I think these are some of the things that we could have closed them up before the meeting. Okay, those are the three matters, honorable members. I'm going to start the rotation. Can we start with the ANC?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Chairperson, on the last matter that you just ended on the Speaker, we support that you write to the Speaker. I don't know, I'm a bit confused about the story. I don't know if if the Speaker was not aware for what purpose that report was sent to her, hence she would have sent it back. But my understanding is that the Minister has acted in line with what the committee had requested, which is that he avails his report and that report would be handled in terms of the protocols. Like you, I'm confused where the Joint Standing Committee comes in, because in my recollection of the protocols, I don't remember a role in particular there for the Joint Standing Committee. So perhaps it's important to just clarify with the Speaker and once again request that that report is sent so that the committee may view it in line with the protocols, as I said. On the issue of Ms. Sarah Jane Trent, I agree with you, Chair, on the handling of the report. But of even more of a concern to us is why we are being sent Ms. Sarah Jane's medical records. You remember this matter was discussed in the committee the last time we had received correspondence from her. And our decision, if memory serves, was the fact that the rules of the National Assembly do not provide for the expansion of testimony that has been provided to a committee. We further agreed that the letter that she had sent outlining what she believes was her mental state at that time would obviously be supplementary to the evidence that she was given. Now, as a committee, I don't know what we are expected to do with the medical records. I don't think that this committee questioned any of her bona fides. I don't think that it is, our responsibility, mandate, or even falls within our competency to do that. So when we get medical records, what do we do with them? It doesn't change the rules of the National Assembly. We still don't have a rule that says we can expunge testimony that is given under oath. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we had even gone so far as to say that if she wishes to seek a declaratory order, it would be well within her rights to do so from the justice system, but we were not able to entertain that request for expunging. So in saying so, Chair, the African National Congress really doesn't support in whatever form, whether they want us to, our phones to be taken away to do whatever, we don't see what value we would be able to derive from seeing medical records that she's obviously so concerned about keeping confidential. On the last issue of Mr. Dokieni, Chairperson, we have a bit of a conundrum, if I could say, to deal with this matter. And I must say that we are extremely taken aback by the letter from the Foundation of the Advocate, because the letter seems to suggest a cover-up, that this committee is not wanting to afford Mr. Dokieni an in-camera hearing. I remember very well, Chair, and we went back to the records to check the conversation with Mr. Dokieni with regards to an in-camera hearing. He raised, in response to a question to me in particular, that there were certain things that he could not answer because he felt that the open platform was improper. I then had a follow-up asking if it was an in-camera that he wanted, what would he speak on a different platform, and that we had never utilized the provision in the terms of reference to hold an in-camera hearing. The chairperson then asked Mr. Tokeni whether the information that he intends to give before an in-camera hearing, would it be classified information? To which he responded, some of it would be. And the chairperson then directed legal services to come up with advice in terms of how that information should be processed, given all the challenges that we have had around the handling of intelligence information. Now, Mr. Dogeni, so we never, to the best of our knowledge, we never got that legal advice, and I'm sure, given the experience of time, we may have taken a different approach. At no point did this committee refuse, delay, any of those grand words that are used in that affidavit. The committee has never said we are not prepared to hear Mr. Dogeni. There was never a decision that he would be heard. We asked for advice on how we deal with issues that is classified. Now, with that being said, Mr. Dogeni then went and issued a protected disclosure where the issues that he wanted to raise, he raises them in protected disclosure. That document is out there. I don't believe that it was ever sent to us as a committee. I know, for example, that I saw it in social media. Now, I'm not sure whether our approach is to say, well, he already has done a protected disclosure and the information that he wanted to share is out there, and Advocate Mkhwanazi doesn't reflect on that, or the foundation, sorry, doesn't reflect on that in their correspondence. That is this something different from the protected disclosure? Because if it is the protected disclosure, I mean, it's public information, everybody has it. But the point that we want to make, Chairperson, is that there is absolutely no truth in a statement that says this committee agreed to an in-camera hearing and now we are delaying it, we are covering evidence and so forth. Perhaps we can go back to the original question that you had posed and was never answered, that whatever it is that Mr. Tokeni wanted to deal with, how would we deal with it within the intelligence framework? And then a decision could be taken from there, taking into account that anyway, his information is already public. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much. Do we have another speaker from the ANC? Okay, Charlie.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say that let me start by the issue of Sarah Jane. I don't think that we will go retrospectively in terms of what transpired when she testified before us. Now, for me, from where I'm sitting as Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, I don't think it's relevant for us even to entertain that. Whatever happened, happened. As you know, Chair, because you were chairing, there was no one who forced Sarah Jane to give evidence. I mean, we've got evidence. We've asked many members, are you fit to testify? She agreed. Nothing personal against her. Whatever she said, she said. For now, for us to change, I can imagine setting a precedent that other people does the same. To say, no, I mean, if General Spear comes back to us and say, I was not in a good frame of mind, he goes to a psychologist. Then they do the same thing with what Sarah Trent has done. Then it means that we were exercising a futile effort. It will set a bad precedent, I must say. Secondly, the last one, I guess the foundation, Kekana Foundation, the issue of Toto Jane was a very sensitive matter. And I guess we've done no justice as in terms of what transpired, not only to him, but I guess the issue of this so-called, there'll be a camera session was spoken about in the committee. We've been going back and forth about this matter of him, that in the 11th hour, hence I blame our legal team as well on that matter.
You still have another speaker? Okay, the DA.
Yes, Chair. Nothing for now.
Thank you so much. The EFF.
Chair, on the matter of the speaker returning the classified information, it's very troubling that even in the event that the committee, through you, did not notify her, the fact that she did not even make contact to say, what is this about, and just return the matter is worrisome. And it can open to a lots of different interpretations on that matter, whether this matter is trying to be diverted in that regard. So I think we must also just get clarity. Why was it just returned instead of at least engaging? What is this all about before it was returned? But obviously we support the fact that we must engage the speaker so we can get the classified information. On the issue of Sarah Jane Trent, we made the decision, as my colleague had raised, that we don't have, our rules don't allow us to expunge her testimony. And if she wants to go use the system, the justice system to do that, then she's welcome to do that. And also just to echo the issue that all witnesses, we were asked very clearly, are they willing and able to give testimony? They were even notified prior to that. So if there was anything medical that needed to be raised, it should have been raised prior to her attending the matter. So I don't think it's anything that we need to engage on any further as a committee. Then in terms of the foundation, we did not, I don't recall, and we don't have anything on record here that says that we had agreed to do an in-camera or take the witness in camera. So, I mean, the letter even accusing us of piggybacking, it's not accurate that we did that. But having said that, on the disclosure that was done, it has been sent directly to the committee. I mean, obviously, it's also making rounds in social media, but we have received it as a committee, and we can make a decision to include it as part of our deliberations and part of evidence that is submitted. And as we go through it, if there are any questions that we need for clarity, we can write to him. And I mean, the committee can make a decision later on if we do call him in. But I think at this point where we're at right now, we can take the protected disclosure, take it into evidence. If there's anything we need clarity on, we can write to him. And if that's not sufficient, we could consider it. But I think we could be covered on getting a written response based on what he has submitted to us. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Chairperson. Also agree that you engage the Speaker on that matter with regards to Sarah Jane Trent. Also agree that we already dealt with that issue, we resolved, and that there's nothing new to consider. Only remedy available to her would be a legal remedy. With regards to the Lt matter and the in-camera, I also agree. I do not recall that we officially resolved to call the witness for in-camera hearing. But I also agree that we can, on what is before us, deliberate and decide when we consider the report how to deal with the matter. And most probably there's sufficient evidence before us to consider coming to a decision to refer further scrutiny by another structure of Parliament of that matter. And I think that's the way that we most probably will deal with it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, we will establish that contact with the Office of the Speaker, and the issue of Ms. Trent, we will respond the way the committee has said that in accordance with our rules, but also that the committee has dealt with this matter before, and whatever confidential information that would have been sent to us cannot be accepted. We must stay away from that trouble where they will be writing to us again, accusing us of having released confidential information. Remember the letter which they previously wrote to us about the questions that she was asked during the proceedings to say, the honorable member, I think that's Honorable James, where did she get that information? I think they're just they're clutching on the straws, and we must not give them a playground or an avenue for them to do whatever they want to do with us. And then with Mr. Tojeni, members are right, and I think we should be able to respond to the Advocate Mkhwanazi Foundation in line with what members are saying, that there's never been any commitment that there will be an arrangement for him. Those questions might have been asked, but the committee has never taken such a decision. With regard to the consideration of that information, I do not know, because it's a matter which I think is debatable. The information has never been formally presented in committee proceedings. And you can imagine if the committee goes and take an information that was never formally presented in its proceedings and say, no, we are now going to use it. I don't think it's going to help us as a committee, because we will be presenting an authorless information before a committee meeting. If there is anybody who wanted to give the committee information, the person could have written formally and make a submission, than for us to have information circulating in social media. It goes to the WhatsApp group of a committee, has never been formally processed. And then we say, no, we have this information. Let's consider it. I'm not persuaded on that one. And I think that it's a matter which the committee must be very careful when it wants to handle information that comes to it through that way. That is an informal way. And we have not, during any of our proceedings, considered information that way. So I think we must be consistent and stick to our customary practices and also the rules that are in place. Any information that comes before the committee, it comes by a way of statement or affidavit. And the person who comes to make a presentation alerts or informs the committee about the documents that they are bringing. So we don't have any formal correspondence that claims ownership or authorship of that information. It might have been a disclosure which is protected in terms of the law, but it's not addressed to us. So let's be consistent, honorable members. Okay, can we move forward? The next item would be the date which we should propose to the speaker. And I had members seemingly agree that we should look towards the end of May or the second week of June. Is that agreed? ANC.
Agreed, Chair.
The MK.
Chair, even if I don't agree, don't help, Chair. Let's agree because we don't have anything, Chair. Let's just agree and see whether we'll be able to reach the end of May. Thank you, Chair.
The DA.
Agree. Thank you, Chair.
The EFF.
Agree, Chair.
Honorable Vessels.
Agree, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, honorable members. Honorable Vessels, you said that you were going to request to be released before 7 o'clock. Last week, we got the sad news of the passing away of our mother and the mother to Honorable Skhosana. And I'm going to start with you before you leave, before we release you, to express your condolences to Honorable Skhosana and his family.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you very much for your consideration in that regard. Let me say, Honorable Skhosana, on behalf of the Freedom Front Plus, you are and you were, you and your family, in our thoughts and in our prayers with the passing of your mother. And you remain in our thoughts and prayers and our deepest sympathy and condolences. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Vessels, are you done?
I'm done, Chairperson, yes.
Thank you so much. Let's take the ANC.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and it is truly painful to once again having to deliver condolences to one of our own. To Honorable Skhosana and his family, we express our deepest sympathies for the loss of your dear mother. The Bible that I believe in has a verse in it that says, "Blessed are those who grieve, for they will be comforted." We truly wish you courage and strength during this difficult time of grief. Thank you, Chairperson.
The DA.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Honorable Skhosana, as we conveyed last week as well, deepest condolences from the whole team. I agree with the Honorable Sangoni that it's terrible to once again have to share these types of condolences, but we trust that she is at far more peace now than what she may have been in this very challenging world that we live in. So much condolences to you and the family.
The EFF. We still have the EFF in the meeting. Honorable Skhosana.
Thank you, Chair.
Are you still here?
I'm here.
On my
I'm here,
behalf, as the chairperson of the committee, and on behalf of this committee and the Speaker of Parliament, we express our sincerest sympathies and deepest condolences. And we commit to pray for the family to contend with the sad reality of losing the mother. You need strength, you need courage. May the Lord God be with you all the times. I'm going to take this opportunity and allow you to reply to these messages that have been given by your fellow members.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say to my friends, colleagues, and the staff who send the message of support. Thank you for all for being there for us during this difficult time. Losing my mother was one of the most hardest pain I've ever endured. But your kindness and support have helped me and all of us in the family a lot. Whether you shared a comforting word has helped us out or just spend time with us, we deeply appreciate it. We want to especially thank everyone who came to the funeral service and those who visited us. In particular, I want to send my special gratitude to the EFF president, the CIC and his team. The deputy secretary came there as well, Elaine Matthias, and the ANC, the premier of Gauteng, came to comfort us. I must say that your presence has brought us a comfort and show us how much we are as a community if we are together, that we are loved. Thank you for your unwavering support. Your love and care have given us strength during this time. With heart thanks to everyone, I thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, honorable members. We unfortunately have come to the end of the meeting. Further communication will be made with you on developments that will follow. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much.